Tell us about Hakeem Jeffries. You have a piece where you warn people about getting too excited about the passing of the torch from Nancy Pelosi to Hakeem Jeffries. Why should people be wary?
Well,
Don't
let's
worry,
think
I
of this.
am, but
Yeah. Well, through the corporate media, and of course, it's been amplified by virtually every member of Congress willing to comment, is that this is a great event. It's going from one generation to another. Nancy Pelosi is 30 years older than Hakeem Jeffries, who's 52 years old. And so isn't that wonderful? He's going to break another ceiling. He's going to be the first African-American leader of the party in Congress and so forth. Well, at the same time, you've got to look at his record. He's somebody who has started a pact with one of the very most corporate, not only corporate, but vicious anti-progressives in Congress, Josh Gottheimer, congressman from New Jersey, who was on a vendetta from the moment that Rashida Tlaib entered Congress, a lot of anti-Palestinian viciousness coming from, and racism, frankly, from Josh Gottheimer. Well, so here you have Hakeem Jeffries teaming up with him to form a pact explicitly to prevent progressives from successfully primary any incumbent, including some of the worst incumbents. And so it sort of follows the tradition of Nancy Pelosi, who went way out of her way to endorse and support Henry Cuellar, the anti-choice, anti-reproductive rights Democrat from South Texas. And there's no question that if Pelosi hadn't intervened, then Jessica Cisneros would be now Congresswoman Cisneros, or about to be sworn in. So this is sort of a lineage, and it gets back to this point about the passing the torch, the next generation. Okay, fine, but what does that mean if, as Pelosi said, we have a new generation to lead? It begs the question, lead in what direction? And in the piece I wrote, I cited an experience that my colleague Jeff Cohen and I wrote about at the time when we were doing a weekly column during the 1990s. Bill Clinton as president, there was a tremendous amount of hype. People, if they were around that time, would remember passing the torch. There was this footage of a young 16-year-old Bill Clinton in the Rose Garden of the White House shaking hands with President John F. Kennedy. And so that was the hype, that was the mold of the publicity that went forward ever since. And when Bill Clinton was using that footage to be elected, he used it in many campaign ads. I was in Madison Square Garden at the convention that summer in 1992. And the place went berserk because here on the big screens is this picture of the nominee, Bill Clinton, shaking hands with John F. Kennedy. It was like, manifest destiny of sort. Okay, this is our guy now. The torch is passed. And that metaphor was used countless times by the mass media. So then what did Bill Clinton do? He pushed a bill that led to greatly escalating mass incarceration. He brought NAFTA to outsource jobs and attack unions. He championed, with help of Hillary Clinton, so-called welfare reform, which is a vicious attack on low-income women and their children. And he also pushed successfully for Wall Street deregulation of the banks, precursor and led towards the meltdown of 2007, 2008. So ironically, but fittingly, when you really look at the record, this whole metaphor of passing the torch from one generation to another is really something that should make us sit up and take notice and realize that they, as I say in the article, citing a song from The Who, don't get fooled again. Meet the old boss, meet the new boss. The continuity is what matters, and that's what we should pay attention to.